Dwight Yoakam broke every rule of country music, and the world couldn't ignore him. Dwight Yoakam has always been a figure who stands apart in country music. Someone who never quite fit the mold, yet redefined what it meant to be a country artist in his own unique way. From the moment he emerged on the scene in the 1980s, Dwight brought a fresh energy, a rebellious streak, and a sharp wit that shook the traditional expectations of Nashville. Unlike the polished, formulaic sound that dominated country radio, Dwight's music carried the rawness of Bakersfield, California, the grit and twang of honky-tonk, and a rock and roll sensibility that made his songs feel alive and unpredictable. He often reflects on the challenges of fitting into a world that seemed intent on shaping him into something he was never meant to be. His voice, unmistakable and piercing, had the power to command attention, but also the weight of authenticity, which sometimes clashed with commercial pressures. He recounts that early in his career, many industry executives tried to steer him toward a safer sound, one that would appeal to a broader audience. Yet Dwight resisted. He knew that surrendering his identity would mean sacrificing the very essence of his artistry. The tension between staying true to oneself and seeking acceptance is something Dwight explores not just in interviews, but in every note he sings. He often jokes about the irony of a world that celebrates individuality, but punishes those who display it too boldly. His sense of humor, dry and sharp, has been a tool for survival in an industry that can be unforgiving. Through all the ups and downs, Dwight never lost sight of why he fell in love with music in the first place. He remembers the days when he would drive through the endless highways of California, guitar in hand, chasing a dream that seemed distant but irresistible. Those experiences shaped not only his songwriting but also his worldview. The streets he walked, the bars he played in, the people he met along the way, they all contributed to the voice that would eventually resonate with millions. In his eyes, country music is a living, breathing thing, not a formulaic product to be packaged and sold. That perspective, however, often put him at odds with mainstream industry standards. The glossy production, the polished image, the repetitive themes, all of it seemed alien to Dwight. He wanted to dig deeper, to tell stories that were messy, emotional, and real. His lyrics are filled with heartbreak, longing, rebellion, and irony. They capture the human experience in ways that feel intimate and raw, connecting listeners to moments they may have tried to forget. He often says that being a country artist is about more than selling records or hitting charts. It's about telling stories that matter, songs that resonate long after the music stops. One of the most defining aspects of Dwight's career has been his commitment to the Bakersfield sound, a style pioneered by legends like Buck Owens and Merle Haggard. This sound, characterized by twangy guitars, sharp rhythms, and a note approach, became his signature. But Dwight added his own twist, infusing elements of rock, folk, and even punk sensibilities. The result was a hybrid that was unmistakably his own, yet rooted in tradition. He speaks passionately about the importance of honoring musical heritage while simultaneously breaking new ground. You can't be trapped by nostalgia, he says, but you also can't ignore where you came from. This philosophy guided him through an industry that often values conformity over creativity. It also made him a target for critics who didn't understand his approach. Some labeled him too unconventional, too edgy, or too different to succeed in Nashville's tightly controlled environment. But Dwight saw these labels as badges of honor. He thrived on pushing boundaries, testing limits, and proving that country music could be more than the predictable cliches that dominated the airwaves. His performances reflect this daring approach. On stage, Dwight commands attention with a combination of charisma, energy, and raw emotion. Fans are drawn not just to his songs but to the authenticity he radiates, the feeling that what you see is exactly who he is. He often shares stories from the road, about the unpredictable moments, the unexpected interactions with fans, the nights where everything goes wrong, yet somehow becomes magical. These experiences are more than anecdotes. They are the lifeblood of his artistry, the moments that fuel his creativity and keep him grounded. Dwight's journey has also been marked by moments of isolation. Being an outsider in a highly commercialized industry comes with challenges. He admits that there were times when he felt misunderstood, sidelined, or dismissed. Yet these experiences only reinforced his commitment to his own path. He believes that true artistry requires courage, the courage to be different, to embrace vulnerability, and to confront the expectations that others impose. This mindset permeates his work, influencing both his songwriting and his performances. Over the years, Dwight has collaborated with a diverse range of artists, from country legends to rock icons, always seeking to expand his musical horizons. Each collaboration is an opportunity to explore new ideas, challenge himself, and break free from the confines of a single genre. He views music as an evolving conversation, one that transcends labels and boundaries. In interviews, Dwight often reflects on the concept of authenticity. For him, authenticity is not just about sound or style, it's about living in a way that aligns with your values and beliefs. He critiques the music industry for encouraging superficiality and conformity, urging artists to resist the pressure to compromise. This philosophy resonates deeply with fans who are drawn not only to his music but to his unwavering sense of self. His influence on country music is undeniable. While some contemporaries followed the conventional path to stardom, Dwight carved out a niche that remains uniquely his own. His legacy is defined not by chart positions alone, but by the impact he has had on listeners and fellow musicians alike. He has shown that it is possible to succeed without sacrificing individuality, a lesson that continues to inspire new generations of artists. Beyond music, Dwight's forays into acting and film reflect the same fearless approach. He chooses roles that challenge him, stories that speak to the human condition, and characters that allow him to explore different facets of expression. This artistic versatility is a testament to his refusal to be pigeonholed, a hallmark of someone who never fit the traditional mold. Through all of this, Dwight maintains a grounded perspective. He acknowledges the importance of hard work, discipline, and perseverance. Yet he never loses sight of the joy that drew him to music in the first place. Each performance, each song, each interaction with fans is a reminder of why he continues to push boundaries and defy expectations. Dwight Yoakam's journey as an outsider in country music has always been defined by his refusal to conform, a trait that both challenged and energized the industry around him. He often reflects on the paradox of being a rebel within a genre that itself was built on stories of heartbreak, defiance, and individuality. Despite this natural alignment, Dwight's approach was sharper, edgier, and infused with a modern sensibility that unsettled some tradition. He embraces the tension that comes with not fitting in, viewing it as a driving force for creativity rather than an obstacle. This perspective has allowed him to consistently produce music that feels both timeless and innovative. One of the aspects that sets Dwight apart is his storytelling. His songs are not merely about catchy hooks or commercial appeal. They are narratives steeped in character, emotion, and nuance. From tales of lonely highways and broken hearts to biting social commentary and sly humor, Dwight's lyrics capture the complexity of life in ways that are relatable yet sophisticated. He believes that the power of music lies in its ability to connect people to experiences that they may not have lived but can feel deeply. His attention to detail in songwriting is meticulous. Every chord, every lyric, and every inflection of his voice is deliberate, designed to evoke a response from the listener. This dedication to craft has earned him respect among musicians across genres. Rockers, country artists, and even pop musicians acknowledge his skill, his authenticity, and the way he reshapes the possibilities of what country music can be. Dwight's musical philosophy often centers on the balance between tradition and innovation. He honors the roots of country music, drawing inspiration from pioneers who shaped the genre. Yet he never allows reverence for the past to constrain his creativity. He experiments with sound, arrangement, and lyrical content, constantly seeking to push boundaries while remaining grounded in the core elements that define the Bakersfield sound. He frequently mentions that innovation without substance is empty, but substance without evolution can become stale. This duality has guided his career, helping him craft albums that feel cohesive, compelling, and distinct. Outside the studio, Dwight's interactions with fans reveal another dimension of his personality. He is candid, witty, and often surprisingly fans recount experiences where he engages deeply, sharing stories from the road, insights about songwriting, or reflections on life as an artist. These moments underscore his belief that music is not just a product to be consumed, but a conversation, a shared emotional experience. He has always sought to build genuine connections, rather than rely solely on fame or image. Over the years, Dwight has faced criticism, some of it harsh, from critics who fail to understand his vision. He has been described as too unconventional, too raw, or too rebellious. Yet Dwight embraces these critiques as part of the journey, using them to fuel his determination. He often remarks that true artistry requires resilience, the ability to face rejection without losing sight of your core identity. In this way, his career becomes a blueprint for artists who struggle with conformity versus individuality. His influence on younger generations is profound. Artists who grew up listening to his music frequently cite Dwight as a source of inspiration for daring to be different. They see in him a model of artistic integrity, someone who refuses to compromise for commercial gain, and who demonstrates that success does not necessitate surrendering your voice. Dwight's impact is evident, not just in musical style but in the attitude he brings to performance and presentation, encouraging authenticity and fearless expression. Acting has offered Dwight another outlet for his restless creativity. In films, he chooses roles that challenge conventional expectations. portraying characters with complexity, depth, and often an edge of vulnerability that mirrors his approach to music. He sees acting as an extension of storytelling, a way to inhabit different perspectives and explore human emotion in new ways. For Dwight, both music and acting are forms of communication, channels through which he expresses truth, irony, and humanity. His personal reflections on fame and success reveal a grounded perspective. Despite accolades, awards, and chart-topping hits, Dwight remains focused on the essence of his craft. He emphasizes that true fulfillment comes not from external validation, but from the ongoing process of creation, the joy of performing, and the connection with listeners who resonate with his message. Fame, while useful, is never the measure of his purpose. Throughout his career, Dwight has navigated the tension between mainstream appeal and artistic integrity. He recognizes the financial and promotional advantages of conforming to industry and expectations, yet he consistently chooses to prioritize authenticity over This commitment has occasionally limited certain opportunities, but it has ensured that every project he undertakes carries his distinct voice and vision. For Dwight, compromise is a slippery slope that risks diluting the very essence of what makes music meaningful. The emotional honesty in his work is striking. Dwight writes about love, loss, longing, and the human condition with a candidness that is both vulnerable and courageous. He refuses to sanitize emotion for the sake of radio play or mass consumption, instead embracing complexity, contradiction, and rawness. This willingness to confront the uncomfortable or bittersweet aspects of life resonates deeply with audiences who recognize their own experiences, reflected in his music. Touring has always been an essential part of Dwight's life, and he approaches it with a sense of purpose and devotion. On the road, he witnesses firsthand the power of live performance to create shared experiences that transcend demographics, background, or expectation. He values the intimacy of connecting with audiences, watching his songs take on new life in different cities, venues, and moments. Each tour, each performance, becomes an opportunity to reaffirm the authenticity and immediacy of music, reinforcing why he refuses to compromise for superficial gain. Collaboration has also played a key role in Dwight's creative evolution. By working with artists from varying genres, he continually expands his musical vocabulary, integrating new sounds while maintaining his identity. He views collaboration as a dialogue rather than a formula, a chance to experiment, challenge assumptions, and discover unexpected resonance. This openness has kept his music fresh and relevant while honoring the roots that define his style. Dwight's reflection on the industry's changing landscape demonstrates insight and adaptability. He acknowledges shifts in production, distribution, and audience expectation, yet maintains his principles. He uses these changes not as reasons to conform, but as opportunities to find new ways to express his artistry. For him, longevity is not a matter of chasing trends, but of remaining true to one's voice and continuously refining craft. Fans respond to Dwight's authenticity with loyalty and enthusiasm. His concerts are filled with individuals who appreciate not just the music, but the honesty, humor, and unapologetic individuality he brings to every performance. He believes that the most meaningful success is measured in these connections, moments when music becomes a shared human experience rather than a commercial transaction. Dwight Yoakam's career is a testament to courage, resilience, and the power of individuality, improvising the voice that is uniquely your own.